All right, so most of you who have been around here for a while know that we do a lot of stuff on this channel, not just talk about The Legend of Zelda and the 35th anniversary. Believe it or not, if you're new around here, I can see why you might be confused. Something we used to do a whole lot and haven't done in a while, especially with E3 and all the rumors and news that we had coming out, we have not taken a look at a controller in a long time, and I think that I found maybe the best one. Yes, the best Switch controller you can buy on Amazon. What's up, guys? Welcome back, or welcome in for the first time. If you are new here, do me a favor, jump down in the description of this video. There's all kinds of links down there. You can really pick any one you want. There's a link to our Discord. We're in there every day, all the time, talking about all kinds of stuff. There's a link to our other channel where we do a podcast, and a lot of our live streams are cut up there. They're pretty funny, so if you want to check any of that other stuff out down there, feel free, and obviously, I do appreciate it. Okay, so as you guys just saw in that B-roll, this is the Elitist S. It's a pretty good controller. It's made by a company called Big One. Name's a little weird, but I gotta admit, this is a very good controller. I want to start, we'll go around the outside, we'll talk about, you know, how it plays, how the sticks feel, how all the buttons feel. We are gonna go into detail on every single thing about this controller. There is really only one thing that I don't like about this controller. It's not big, I don't know, we'll get there. Anyway, I wanna start out with just the way this thing feels. This does not feel like just any other controller that you would pick up really anywhere. It's got this soft touch material, but at the same time, it's not so soft that it's like your hands are just gonna slip off of it, if you know what I mean. Some of the Joy-Con replacements are soft touch. Some of the controllers are soft touch, and in my opinion, they might be a little bit too soft touch. They kind of just slip right out of your hands. This has, I don't know what this coating is. It's a rubberized coating, but they say it actually helps with anti-slip, anti-sweat, and another thing that I think is kind of a really big deal, especially, you know, if you're worried about the way your controller looks, it also helps with fingerprints. So no matter what, you can touch this thing really anywhere, and it doesn't leave fingerprints, which for me, someone who, you know, takes a lot of pictures of things, does video with things, that's great. I don't have to worry about wiping fingerprints off. Now, as far as the way this thing feels, I'm gonna talk about the overall feel in a bit. I wanna kinda go through the buttons and all that other stuff first, because this controller actually compares to another controller that I actually did a video on a while back that nobody watched. So I'm guessing you didn't either. But when we get to that, I'll put a link up here if you wanna check that out. But really quick overview here. It's got all the buttons you need. It's got the home button, which actually does wake up the Switch. I know a lot of you guys do want to know that. That's like the first thing you guys always ask in the comments. So yes, this will wake up the Switch with the home button. One touch, every time, good to go. It does have a turbo function, which I don't really use all that much, but if you are somebody who likes the turbo function, this has one. And like I said, all the buttons that a regular Switch controller has. It's got the capture button, plus, minus, home, the D-pad. The D-pad's pretty good. It's not terrible. Again, you know, not the best D-pad ever, but I would say something like this would probably be a lot better than what's on the, like the Power A controllers, like the regular Power A controllers. I don't like those D-pads. Some might say this is actually better than what's on the Pro controller. I kind of like the Pro controller one a little bit better, but this one's definitely, it's very good. The sticks, you know, nothing really wrong here. Basic sticks, nice and clicky when you cook them down. They do have, like every third-party controller that I test, they have a small dead zone. But again, just like I say with every single third-party controller that I tell you has a dead zone, if I didn't tell you right now, you probably wouldn't even know it's there. Now, moving on, I want to talk about the face buttons, the A, B, and X, Y. These buttons are very nice. Very nice. And you guys know I'm all about the way a controller sounds when you pick it up. If a controller has a lot of rattle in it, to me, I don't know, it just feels cheap. This controller here, I'm gonna put it up to the mic so you can hear it. Absolutely nothing. There is absolutely zero rattle in this controller. This might be the first controller I've ever used that has absolutely no button rattle whatsoever. That's one of the main reasons I really do like this controller, is because you pick it up and you don't hear, you know, a bunch of plastic on plastic stuff moving around. It's just solid. It's built very, very well. They do say that the ends of these joysticks are wear resistant, which I don't know. I've had it for a while. I've been using it for a while, but so far, I guess, yes, they are wear resistant. I don't see any wear. So far, so good with that. But one thing I have not talked about is the back of this controller. It does have programmable buttons on the back, but they are one big giant button. I mean, it's 2 buttons, it's one on each side, but it's just one big long piece of plastic. And for some reason, just like the other controller, this one's a lot like, this comes off. I don't know why. I know I've been in contact with the guys from the company. If you want to reach out to me again on Instagram and let me know what the purpose of this is, why it comes off, because I'd love to know. I just don't understand. I will put it in a pinned comment once you let me know that. And so these buttons back here, they are pretty good. I thought they would get in my way. They don't really. They're in a spot where you really kind of got to click down on them for them to be pressed, so you don't really have to worry about them getting in the way too much. And if you don't like it, you can always just take it out. I mean, you will have some holes back there, but I mean, I guess it's something to grip onto. I'm not sure, again, why this comes off. I don't get it, but hey, it works. The buttons aren't in the way anyway, so it's really not anything to worry about. The L and R and ZL buttons, they're fine. They're really clicky. Again, everything about this controller is good. For the price they're asking, just for this piece right here, I think it's totally 100% fair. At the moment of this recording, it's $47.99 on Amazon. I think this is 100% worth it, but I haven't even talked about the rest of the controller. Now, one thing before we do move on, I think I did forget to mention, it does also have rumble. It's got gyro, so it's got all that stuff. Everything that a Switch Pro controller has, except, of course, for the amiibo function. It doesn't have an NFC reader. Other than that, it's got everything. And again, this thing is built. I cannot stress enough how well this thing feels. Now, before we move on to the other stuff, I do want to tell you what controller this actually is pretty much a carbon copy of. The PDP, I'm pretty sure it's the Afterglow controller. I'm pretty sure it's called the Afterglow controller, but it's the one that's transparent. The PDP controller that is transparent. I'm pretty sure it's the Afterglow. I did a video on a bunch of transparent controllers. Like I said, you probably didn't watch it. A lot of people didn't watch it, but it's there. If you're looking for a transparent controller, I'll go ahead and link it there or there, wherever it needs to be linked. You can check it out, but it is exactly the same shape with the exact same back button. It's the exact same shape as that one, but in my opinion, this one is actually better than the PDP one. The PDP one does have buttons that shake and they don't feel this nice. Even to press, they just don't feel this nice. So I think this one beats it there as well. A few other things you need to know about this controller. It does work with the Switch, obviously. It works with Windows and Android as well, but it's got something else. It's got this 2.4 gigahertz adapter. One thing you do need to know about this 2.4 gigahertz connector, it does not work with the Switch. You cannot use these together with the Switch. You just have to pair this Bluetooth with the Switch. And if you have an Android TV box, the Bluetooth connection will not work on that. I don't know why, it just won't. Now, another way you can actually use this thing is wired. You can just plug it straight in and use it as a wired controller, not a controller charging while you're playing wirelessly. It is actually a wired controller. So there are 3 different ways that you can use this controller. It's very versatile in that sense. There's a lot of different ways you can hook this thing up. But here is where I get to my one big issue with this controller, and for some, this honestly, it may be a no-go just because of this one thing. It's got the same problem as that PDP controller, and that is that it uses the old micro USB for charging. It does not use USB-C like just about everything else does now. Now, it comes with a cable that you can use for that. So it's got the cable you need to hook it up. Not a big deal, but just know that that's the cable you're probably going to have to use, because it also has this, it's kind of like a hole. So the cable has to fit in this hole to get down there too. So it only accepts certain cables. Not just any cable will work on this. That, in my opinion, oh man, it's so tough because this controller, other than that, is great. For the price, this is probably one of the best, if not the best, third-party controller on Amazon. Especially if you're looking for something that is the same shape as the Pro controller, this is it. I mean, this is definitely it. The problem is just that charge port. That's the only thing I don't like about it. Other than that, this thing's This thing's really good. If you don't care about the type of charger that this thing takes, I could not recommend a controller from Amazon more than I can recommend this one. I mean, obviously you have your Power A's, but you can get those anywhere. You have your, you know, your 8-bit do, your PDP, but those are everywhere. You can get those at Best Buy. You can get those at GameStop. These you can't just go get at GameStop, and that's why I think when it comes to the controllers that you can just get on Amazon, really, this is the one. If you've got the money to spend. There's obviously other options, and I have a whole video on that. I'll link both of those. I have 2 of those actually. I'll link those at the end. But if you have the money to spend, this is it. I could not recommend it more. I'm very, very happy with this controller. Full disclosure, they did send this to me for a review, but they actually sent this to me a long time ago. So guys, thanks for sending this to me if any of you are watching this, and I'm really sorry that it took me so long to do a video on it, but I do really like it. But guys, that's gonna do it for this one. Let me know in the comments down below if you will be picking this controller up, or if you've used it, let me know what you think about it. I'd love to get some other opinions down in the comments. Or if you think there's one out there that's better, that's only on Amazon, it's gotta only be on Amazon. If there's a better one, leave that down below too. But guys, that's gonna do it for this one. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. Please leave a like, make sure you are subscribed. We'll see you in the next one.